But let's go ahead and jump into. Let's go to Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man chapter. What do we got?
Chapter 95.
95. Let me get it up on my phone here. Ow. This one was like a straight action movie.
Yeah, it was.
95. Chainsaw Man 95. What'd you think about it? What in a word, in one word, what is this chapter to you?
Oh, man. One word?
One word.
Gnarly.
Gnarly?
Gnarly, bro. That shit.
Gnarly?
We see... How many times do you see Makima's head pop off, bro?
Oh, wow.
Bro, her head just... I'm pretty sure her head was detached more than it was attached to her body in this chapter.
I think so. I think you're right.
I was trying to figure out, and I couldn't, like, piece it together, but whose power is she using that allows that? Is it the puppet
That's
power?
interesting. You know, it's maybe it's it's almost like it's almost reminiscent of how All for One has amassed a collection of quirks, and he can kind of infuse them to one another, or activate some in certain things to get these effects. So with Makima, it's like, what devils does she have like contracts with that? Like, is that a mix of, like you said, the puppet and control? Like she's able to. I think it's puppet. That would make the best sense. I didn't think about that until you mentioned this. So it's probably the puppet contract or devil that allows her to essentially substitute those people around her to take her injuries.
To take the blow. Yeah.
That was pretty fucking gnarly. Yeah, that's a good word. Witnessing it take place again and again and again.
Yeah, and yeah, you see as her head's cut off like multiple times. There's other people's heads who are just popping off, or just arms taking massive damage. Like, there's just a lot of bodily damage being taken, and
let me see that.
It's counterproductive to Chainsaw Man's fighting style that she can counter that way, because all he is just melee damage, and she can basically reverse that, put the effects onto another person.
Yeah, which is, I mean, yeah. So
she's
maybe
kind of
that's
like a voodoo doll, like.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. But see, it may not be the puppet contract, because, oh man, it's so weird. Because remember, we had before the puppet Santa Claus, there was that train scene where she got shot a whole bunch of times, and she managed to survive it somehow. And maybe this is like more explanation on that. So maybe she had this power, whatever this devil is, prior to that or at that time.
That's true, yeah.
Because it's so interesting, because she also does this when she kills the mafia people. She kills that criminal in front of her, and then is able to transmit that damage to the mafia, the Yakuza. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what.
I'm sure they probably mentioned it, and we just are idiots and glazed over it.
Yeah, probably. I'm just, falling heads over hill for power, so can't blame me. And Makima again.
Bro,
step on me, Makima. Step on me.
Oh, dang.
Into that, huh? I'll be your dog.
Bro, have some respect for yourself. Shit. Dude, so this, I was torn in that panel where, this is a spoiler, where Makima, like, reaches inside of Genji's Chainsaw Man and rips out Puchita, because it's such a brutal panel. But then I'm looking at Genji's heart, which is Puchita, and I'm like, dude, that is the most adorable little heart I've ever seen. It's got little Puchita face on it with the the string that you start up a chainsaw with, like, that's in his chest. It's directly attached to Puchita. But yeah, I'm looking at his heart and I'm like, dude, like, that's an adorable heart right there.
I've never crushed on a heart before, but that is pretty wholesome.
Dude,
he's like kind of got this like It looks almost like a Beanie Baby kind of cuteness to it, you know?
Yeah, it's like real dopey.
Innocent is kind of sitting in the palm of her hand and she's about to crush it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because, obviously this is dire. We've never seen this take place in any chapter, so God, man, there's not much to get into discussion wise because this played out as I mentioned like an action sequence. A lot of action, a lot of chaos, fighting between both Makima and Denji. Who, I'm gonna give Denji some benefit here. He held up on his own quite a bit, considering he has been, his power has succumbed to the cheers of the people of the world since they're not afraid of him anymore.
Yeah.
Or most times, so.
I see it as interesting that there's a lot of resentment from Makima that kind of the chainsaw chose Denji, even though he doesn't represent what, Chainsaw Man's supposed to be. And yes. She kind of, seems like she really just resents Denji for that. You see, she says every action he takes should be chaotic.
Right.
But as we see, it's not, She's like, he shouldn't be wearing clothes. He's not supposed to talk. But that's not how Denji, as Chainsaw Man, has been. And, I wonder if these feelings have been in her this whole time,
Well, yeah, and it's interesting because just you mentioning that is chaotic, right? So from this, we can get that the essence of Chainsaw Man is chaos, in a form, chaos incarnate, to the opposite, almost like a yin and yang of Makima, because we know Makima is the control, aspect of her, the controlled devil. So it's almost like opposites attract, and maybe that's what, kind of gives her pleasure because of that, because of just the randomized chaos that is complements, I guess, Makima's controlling nature.
That makes sense, yeah.
It's a little tit for tat.
Oh, dude, look at you. Just should be over there teaching, college courses on theory of manga.
Hypothetically speaking, if you were control and I was chaos.
Oh, dude, stop. Just stop right now.
What, dude?
Oh, man, I can't. Bro, I just can't right now. Don't do it.
I won't. But yeah, so not much. I mean, she's gonna straight up kill Pochita, or something's gonna happen, unless this is where Kobeni and Kishibe come in and their time to shine. Because
this will be the moment.
Oh, because look at this. Maybe they wanted this to happen because now all the other puppets, devils are dead. So now it's just Makima. Ooh. I see the plan coming together. The plan's coming together.
Yeah.
I got you, Fujimoto.
Let's see, bro. Next week we'll see.
Let's see if I'm on track for that one.
But yeah, I think that covers basically everything beyond, there's nothing beyond that in this chapter.